Good afternoon, everyone. How is everybody today? Okay, welcome to MD Expo. My name is Syed. Officially, it's my last name, but that's how I go by in the healthcare industry. I love my profession so much. You can see my email, my name, and clinicalengineer@gmail.com. And I'm going to have most of my slides are like this. There's an active link in majority of the slides. If you want to take a deeper dive on that topic, you can click on those active links and take a look at it later. MD Expo has promised, as they always do, they are going to display the slides later. They're going to share it online. This time, I believe they are also going to share the voice recording of the whole presentation. I just want to share that with you. All right, let's go. So the learning objectives of this presentation is how I was introduced to this voice technology, and then the second portion is going to be like the well-being of the clinician staff. How serious is the burnout concern in the healthcare industry? We're going to talk about that, and then how voice technology is helping to reduce that burnout, to reduce that stress level. And what can it do in future? I'm talking about voice technology with respect to staff well-being as well as patient safety. All right. So these are the key takeaways for the presentation. As a HTM, we are always looking for ways to improve either patient safety, clinician safety, medical device safety, or how to get better return on investment on the technology. We are always looking for ways for that. So this also falls into that category. Voice technology is going to play a very major role in the near future in the healthcare ecosystem. So how, as HTMs, we can put ourselves in a better position by working with our telecom team, our IT team, our clinical team, and have a strong voice technology vendor at our hospital site or our hospital system, whichever your responsibility is. Now, don't be surprised when you are looking at the voice technology, even if it is a single site, small hospital, you are going to find more than one vendors. What I mean by that is voice technology vendors. Like, for example, PAs will be using different phones, different manufacturers, some on-call departments will be using some others. So having a strong single vendor is always going to be a good idea. We all go through this as HTM professionals. Physician leaders, nurse leaders come to us looking for a technology solution for a challenge they are facing clinically. So a VP of clinical telemetry came to me with the challenge that they were still using the telemetry nurse. This used to be a normal process back in the days, but technology is used these days. That is a very good return on investment because you're not having like a nurse staring at this screen of telemetry patients 24/7. So technology is going to take over that. So that's a very good return on investment from the CFO perspective also. So what started as a small telemetry project using voice technology, hands-free voice technology, was accepted so much at all levels of leadership at the hospital that it was expanded right away to the critical care areas and then to ED. And I believe they are talking about including patient transport and nurse call system, accommodating all of that into this voice technology. So again, this is like any other normal project we go for. We evaluate, we explore the opportunities, and the final will be the measuring the impact of of the newly implemented technology. These were the essential requirements from the clinical perspective. Interoperability was the number one. In order for, as HTMs or technology managers, in order for us to select the best technology, we have to go by our current configuration. What is the manufacturer of our patient monitors? What EMR the hospital is using? What packs are we using? So based on that, you can reach out to these vendors, ask them for their customers, satisfied customers, and you can work with those customers, asking them, what voice technology is working for you, or what voice technology are you using, and how satisfied are you. Based on that, you can narrow down the list of these vendors and pick the best one, which is a good fit for you based on the configuration of other technologies you have at your hospital system. In this project, the clinicians wanted as much information as possible on the smart beepers and the phones, keep staying within the HIPAA law. Hands-free was they were adamant on that, because they want to make sure that while they are gowned up, still the technology should be usable, just voice activated. They were looking for another feature. The best way I can explain it is, the teller has that secret panic button. If the bank is being robbed or something, they can press that button, and then nobody in the bank will know, including their coworkers, but law enforcement will know far off. So they were looking for something like that, and they got it. One of the vendors had it. So when they press that button, that is the only button on that gadget, which is like the biggest size, which is very obvious. When they press that button, their floor nurses will know that there is something is happening in this room. They'll get a text message or something. And the security team of the hospital also knows, and some other people who are stakeholders in the security of the staff. So just having that feature gives the confidence to the clinician that, you know what, if there is something, if there is an irate patient or something is not going accordingly, she can just press that button, and within few seconds, another nurse, whoever is free, can show up at that room, and just having a witness to this escalation is enough to de-escalate the situation from the patient's perspective or the visitor's perspective. That has been the experience so far. So that gives a extra confidence to the nurses. So these were some of the essential features they were looking for, that technology. At this particular site, they went through the Joint Commission alarm fatigue phase, doing the minimum. So they wanted to expand the voice technology and escalate the alarms using this technology as well. So that is also going to be in another phase. Now, deployment and adoption was not any different. We were looking at the design. We work with the stakeholders. We deploy the solution, and we check the impact of the technology. I don't want to go too much into the details of this. It's very similar to any other technology project which we have done. I want to move on to the burnout, or the physician well-being, or the staff well-being. How many of you heard of burnout? And how old do you think is that term? Is that 10, 20 years old, or is it older than that? You will be surprised that it was first identified. The clinician burnout was first identified in 1960. 60 years later, still we are struggling with it. That's a concern. So ECRI puts out top 10 technology hazards. We all are aware of it as HTMs. Every year they do that. They also sent out patient safety concerns. And in 2019, look at number 3, burnout. burnout and its impact on patient safety. See, the picture says it, right? And they are talking only about burnout. It's not about, it's not just physician, nurses, could be a HTM person also. You know, we all go through this, and we have too many things in one day, or whatever we have, we were working on, we plan to work on that day, and things hit. So 2019, that was the top, in the top 10, the burnout showed up. 2019 data, nurses surveyed, and the information is on that active link at the bottom. If anybody wants to take a deeper dive into that section. So out of the surveyed nurses in 2019, 15% reported that they were burned out. 20% in the ER. So 1 in 5 nurses in ER reported burnout in 2019. And here is the more concerning part. Out of those who reported burnout, 50% of them had no plan of changing the jobs. So they are burned out, they are going to continue. How does it impact HTMs? We deal with clinicians, nurses, doctors on a daily basis. If they are burnt out, if they are unengaged, like the last point says, 41% of the nurses reported as being unengaged. All right, I'm an unengaged clinician. I'm on the floor. My EKG is plugged in to the wall. I'm right here. The machine is right here. I'll just pull it from here and then go to the patient's home. Am I engaged? No, I'm not. And when I'm talking to the clinicians in our day-to-day activities, if they are burnt out, if they are unengaged, the response and the communication is completely different. It'll be just like, you know, it says broken, right? It is broken. Take it. Your job is to fix it, right? Fix it and bring it back. So we feel the unengagement also. It affects us too, as students. If it is an engaged nurse, they'll be like, I don't know, Syed. I believe it is this. But if I find out more, I'll let you know. I'll call you and I'll let you know. But it is not working right now. Could you please take mention? You see the difference? But the previous person was not using that. I guess he learned the hard way. So sorry about that. Okay, I am going to be a little bit reluctant to use it again. All right, so we talked about nurses burnout. Let's talk about physician burnout. According to this Harvard article, it's a public health crisis, physician burnout. For the nurses, we talked about 2019. For physician, this article is talking about future. 2025, we're going to have 100,000 physician shortage, and that's going to be because of burnout. Now, we talked about physician, we talked about burnout, we talked about voice technology. Let's talk about what voice technology is doing currently to reduce this burnout. I'm going to share some slides with the articles on these particular clinicians, physician, pharmacists, nurses, radiology. Speech therapy was something which I was surprised to see, but it is there. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Do you see a biomed person there in the picture? A biomed professional in the picture? He's behind working on a machine. If you look at the first sentence here, primary care physicians spend more than 1/2 of their workday interacting with EHR. So if I'm a doctor, my shift is 8 hours. 3 hours I'm working with the patients, 1 hour is my lunch, let's say. 4 hours I'm spending on my EHR. As a doctor, I didn't sign up for that. I signed up to spend as much time as possible with the patient. The good news is Microsoft, Google, Amazon, they are all working on the medical transcription technology, including artificial intelligence and all that, to come up with some way of improved way of medical transcription, so that the doctors and the nurses don't have to spend much time. We are going to talk in the future technology. Cerner is doing something really cool, but I'll hold that for the future section of this. For the pharmacy folks, how it is helping for the pharmacy, automatic refills, especially in the elderly patients, working with caregivers to make sure that medication is ordered on a timely basis. The active links are there. Slides are going to be shared with you by MD Expo for those who came late. So you can take a deeper dive using those links later as well. Mostly education. I mean, how many of us go to the pharmacy and we are waiting in line, and there is always somebody who wants to talk to the pharmacist, and their questions are like, should I take it before the eating, after eating, should I save it in the refrigerator? All that information is there on the label, but some people want to have that human interaction, and that takes some time away from the pharmacist. So this kind of voice assistant, which are going to take care of the education portion of pharmacist's job, are currently being used, and that's helping with the burnout, or I should say, well-being of the staff. Inside the OR, taking the pictures, voice-triggered photos, and labeling. So it's like if I tell Alexa, take a picture of me right now, and label it HTM MD Expo Tampa. Thank you, Alexa. Something like that, right on the OR table. And that's being done by Omni Health Group. Same thing, ICU nurses. So any kind of critical care areas, especially OR, voice-activated technology is very much helpful. And it is being used. These are technologies I'm talking about which are being used right now, and which is helping with the clinician well-being. Like radiology, like we heard in the previous presentation, some of the procedures are very long procedures. So the communication between the patient and the technician is always important. So the smart speakers, which communicate 2 ways, Amazon Echo and Google Home, they are being used. This is as per the Society of Interventional Radiology. Smart speakers offer a conversational voice interface that allow physician to ask questions and retrieve information without breaking the sterile spell. That's the most important part. So small, little by little, it's helping the staff well-being or the physician well-being, these technologies. But it has a potential, we'll get to that very soon. Speech therapy. In speech therapy, the voice technology is helping even with small children who has speech problems, as well as with adults who went through a procedure or after a stroke, they have some speech problems. So the voice technology is helping them. I mean, imagine that if go to a speech therapist with a kid, and the speech therapist says you're supposed to do this, 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 come back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or in a month, and here is your voice assistant. Take it. You go work. When you come back, the speech therapist can just log into that voice assistant and see, okay, you're supposed to do this exercise 100 times a day, you did only 10 to 5 times. So if your speech did not improve as it was supposed to improve, it's not because the method the speech therapist is using or the care plan the speech therapist is because the patient is not doing what they're supposed to do. So it helps that way as well. Now, we all know we are going through COVID. So I was obligated to add a COVID section, how voice technology is helping COVID section. It's only 2-3 slides. We go through that. Crises have a way of changing our world forever. Remember, airport security was completely different before 9/11. And how many of us fly to Tampa? Majority of us, right? No, everybody is local. Okay. I mean, I flew from New Jersey. There is a different flying experience before COVID, and there is a different flying experience after COVID. And universal precaution and needle sticks used to be not, there was a different attention before HIV and Hep C, and then after HIV and Hep C was given the attention it needed. So crises have a way of changing our world. Voice technology is helping in this COVID era. How it is helping? I'm sharing 3 slides. These are this is also information from internet. Saratoga Hospital, they use voice activated technology for some other purpose. They had it, but during COVID, according to that article, and that article has the information of the person, the leader, clinical leader who shared that information. So you can take a detailed look at it if you want to. So basically what they are saying is it resulted, the voice activated hands-free technology helped them in saving PPEs. So there was, they were able to avoid going in and out of the room. That was one thing. And that also resulted in reduced risk of contamination. So that's Saratoga Hospital. Hands-free technology improve patient experience. This is University Hospital of Cleveland. So what they did is during the hands-off, they accommodated not only the people who are present there, but the people whose presence is going to be helpful, but they don't have to be present physically at the point of care. They could be wherever they are, but as long as they have this technology, they could hear the conversation, and if there is any correction needs to be made, let's say a doctor is hearing the hands-off, he could make the correction right then and there, or he could call the nurse and tell, this is not what I said this, something. So that was one thing they did. And another thing, they included patients in the discharge, when the patient is approaching the discharge time. So those hands-off, the family caregiver who is supposed to be taken care of after the discharge was also included in the same call. That enhanced patient experience, according to University Hospitals of Cleveland. Again, the details of the article is right there in that link. Now, this Intermountain Hospital, they use this technology for calling the remote clinical pharmacist. But imagine this, we all heard this. Rapid response team, ICU bed 41. Rapid response team, ICU bed 41. You all heard that. Now with the voice technology, similar to what they said they have done, you can just from the point of care, let's say if the nurse sees there's a need of a rapid response team here, while she's taking care of whatever she's taking care of, she can activate the rapid response team right from there, saving precious time to save that patient, because the message will go to all the rapid response team members along with the floor folks to come and help this nurse and that patient. That could be the difference between that could save lives. These are some of the resources of COVID and voice technology. If you want to take a deeper dive into this. Now, we are talking about future voice technology and the amazing future of voice technology in healthcare. When you go to, especially these days, it's very common at the entrance of the mall or airport with a thermometer. Authorized person is standing there taking temperature. For the last 50 years, we have seen thermometer taking temperature is open your mouth, put a probe inside the mouth. All of a sudden, COVID hits, and then these touch-free thermometers are everywhere. So again, these pandemics and this kind of crisis, they have negative impact as well as positive impact. The new technologies are becoming popular. Now, this temperature check is our vital sign. Now, why they are taking the temperature? Because they want to make sure you don't have temperature. If you have temperature, there's a possibility you have COVID. Now, the future of voice technology is, can my voice be my vital sign? Can it be? Just my voice. They are talking about my voice or anybody's voice is going to be their vital sign as well. Imagine this. Everybody have Alexa in their homes, or majority of us at least. Okay, I'm talking to Alexa. Good morning, Alexa. How are you? I'm fine. What's the temperature today? Okay. Mr. Syed, you sound like you are congested. Okay. Yeah, Alexa, I'm feeling a little down. Let me order some over-the-counter medication for you. Okay. I'm having. Okay, I see Paraflu, I see Tylenol. What do you prefer? Okay, let's order Tylenol. Okay, Tylenol also. We have congestion, cold, cough, cold, flu and cold. Let's order decongestant. Okay. You want drowsy, non-drowsy? I want to call in sick tomorrow. Get the drowsy. Okay, it's ordered through Amazon Prime. It will be here within 24 hours. I'll keep you updated as it's shipped. Is this something a fantasy world, or is it very near future it's going to happen? It is. Detecting health condition, physical and emotional abnormality by voice. Alexa can tell if you are sick, depressed, and even send you medication. So I was not joking. And that article is going to tell you, and that article is from 2018. That was okay. On the serious note, the bottom article is a research article. That's also available freely. You guys can take a look at it. It's like almost 50 pages. But here is the gist of it. Most of the cardiac arrests happen with not in the hospital, outside of the hospital, people's home, the restaurant, those kind of places. But what the clinicians, what this research team is working on, before the cardiac arrest, there are some symptoms which have something to do with your voice. So what they are working on is an audible biomarker, which changes your voice. And So the audible sound is completely different, and that is caused by something called agonal breathing. That supposedly happens in majority of the patients before cardiac arrest. So how it's going to work? It's going to be a gadget. The people who are at risk for cardiac arrest, the primary care physician or the cardiologist is going to put them as at risk for cardiac arrest. They'll be given a gadget. That gadget will have their voice signature, their normal voice signature as a audible biomarker. Now that is voice audible biomarker is going to be monitored in real time compared to the signature which is saved in the EMR or wherever it is saved. If there is a big change in it, that means the patient is starting that agonal breathing. So now, based on whatever the workflow of that hospital, of that patient, that physician is, that gets escalated. Oh, wow, this sound looks a little bit different. So the patient is going to get a call saying, go to your primary care, get this set of tests. Once those set of tests are done, okay, you are all clear, you can go back home. Or no, you're going straight from doctor's office to your hospital. Possible potential for saving life. Now, during cardiac arrest, what we also know is most of the damage is done because the heart is damaged. Usually the doctors say 10% of heart muscle was damaged. So if you are preventing the cardiac arrest, the procedure is happening before the cardiac arrest, that means your heart is just the way it was. So there was no damage to it. So the healing process can be better. The chance of success rate is going to be better. So vital sign, your voice as vital sign is going to be a big thing to look for. Healthcare trained voice agents. So this particular article, they are working on, this is Intuition Robotics. They are working on something called, for a specific post-operation, like they are working on orthopedic, especially because after orthopedic procedure, knee replacement, hip replacement, or any kind of accident, there is a lot of work or needs to be done, exercise especially. So they are working on something called voice trained agent, who is going to tell or give you a reminder, as of now at least, okay, you have to do this exercise this many times today, this exercise this many times. Future of this could be you are with accommodating some visual technology. This voice agent can also tell, the way you are doing this exercise, your elbow needs to be a little bit straight, or your knee needs to be a little bit inward or outward. So that potential is there for the future part. But currently they are working on a specialized voice agent for post-orthopedic surgery. How you want to call them? You can, like, we have registered nurses, so we can call them registered healthcare trained voice agent, or licensed healthcare trained voice agent, or certified, whatever you want to call that. We'll put that on the side. This is what I was talking about, Cerner. Cerner is working on something cool in the transcribing portion of technology. But what they are working is, let's say if a doctor and a nurse is having a conversation, or a doctor and a patient, or a nurse and a patient. While they are having a conversation, the Cerner is going to stay behind in the background using voice technology, artificial intelligence, machine learning, natural language processing, and all that technology, improved versions of them in the near future. So by the time that conversation, that episode, transaction of that communication episode is completed between doctor and the patient, the report is already ready. All the doctor has to do, review it. If there are any minute changes, make those changes and submit. Is that going to help with the physician well-being? Of course. So that's how it all relates to, like, whatever can help uh, take the physician and the nurses back to the back with the patient, and as less possible as possible from the EMR and documentation portion. Voice as second authentication. I'm going to leave some time for question and answer at the end. So there will be time for question and answer, and my contact information is there. So if you didn't get a chance to ask a question, you can always send me an email. I have even my LinkedIn information there as well. Okay. So voice as second authentication. Now we are talking about dual multi-factor. Even for banking, we are using multi-factor authentication these days. So look at it this way: when you reach out to your insurance agent, you will get a link of quotation. You will not see everything. When you click the link, you have to put some password or something, then the whole PDF will open. So something like that for your healthcare records. But instead of a PIN password, you will have that also. But the final factor which is going to authenticate it is going to be your voice. And then the whole report will open. And what they are, again, in order to make it HIPAA compliant on your mobile devices. So that's one technology. So we are talking about future technologies. Now this is what is also in the pipes. So if you want to take a look at it, it's right here. Now, this is that article on the top has all the details of this high-level table. I'm not going to get into all the details, but I'm going to say this. Voice agents currently are mostly in English, maybe in Chinese and Japanese, and some few other languages. What we are talking about is a multilingual voice agent in future. So you go to a doctor's office or the hospital, the voice agent is going to greet you in several languages based on the language you respond to. Voice agent is going to change to that language, and the follow-up question and communication is going to happen in that language. So we are talking about currently predominantly English voice agents to multi-language. And also, it's not here though, but sometimes when you are talking to Alexa doesn't understand us. So think of a voice agent. We are only talking about English right now. I'm from India. There is an Indian accent of English. There is a Middle Eastern accent. There is an African accent. There is a Southern accent here too in US. There is British way of talking, and there is Australian, Canadian. So that in future, that also going to be accommodated. So that when a patient goes to a doctor's office, imagine the voice agent talking not only in your language, your accent, that enhances the patient experience. So that's like a very good first impression. Another thing which I want to talk about is currently all these voice agents are education. They are being used for educating the patients, how to use the medication, or what exercises to do, and like basic over-the-counter medication, what are the do's and the don'ts of it, those kind of stuff. Now, imagine this in the near future. You go to the doctor's office, whatever voice agent, I keep talking about Alexa. I have no business with Alexa. Alexa is just common. That's why I'm using that name. So Alexa or any voice agent is there. They're going to say, Mr. Syed, you are here today. What brings you to the doctor's office? Well, I'm not feeling well. Do you have temperature? Maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, can I take your temperature? Robotic arm goes out, grabs the thermometer, hands-free, of course, takes the temperature. I'm going to make a note of your temperature. Mr. Syed, can I take a look at your throat? Smart ophthalmoscope comes out, which has the capability of taking a picture. Could you please open wider, please? Thank you. Take a picture. Put it back. Can I take a look at your ear? Smart otoscope comes out. Take a picture of your ear. Thank you. I have attached all those pictures to your electronic record for your today's visit. Is there any other information you want me to put in there? I'm going to make my notes now. Could you please put your hand in there? That's going to give me the blood pressure. All right. You're almost done, Mr. Syed. Can you stand right in front of my legs so I can take your weight on that platform? Okay. Thank you very much. So what is this Alexa doing? Or what is this voice agent doing? From education, we are going to assessing the patient. Of course, we cannot completely depend on the technology to assess the whole thing. Initial assessment is done, report is created. Now the doctor or the nurse is going to follow up. So again, increasing the staff well-being, and reducing the burnout. Again, the last point is voice assistant and voice expert assistant. So there will be specific to like pharmacy voice assistant, speech therapy voice assistant, post diabetics, post hip surgery is separate, knee surgery is separate, and those kind of stuff. So we are going to go from general to expertise. Here is another way to look at it. This is the voice technology personalization. The first one, Amazon is working on this personalization based on characteristics such as age, gender, and location. The advanced version, Huawei is working on it. Personalization based on well-being data and emotional state of the patient. So the voice agent is going to work on the emotional state and your vital sign and everything, and personalize it for you. The next one, the last one, which we are thinking at least so far, is the voice technology experts are thinking about it, is voice assistant becoming your coaches, counselors, and even friends. So the future of voice technology looks pretty amazing. You guys agree with that? This is one of the major things here was interoperability. Amazon is working on with around 30 other international companies. The main focus is voice interoperability initiative. They want all different kinds of voice applications and this to work from a single product. It could be a single cell phone, it could be a Google Chrome, it could be a tablet, it could be anything. Now, these are some of the objectives of this initiative led by Amazon. And the bottom is the active link. That's Amazon press release. So it's not something hidden. It's always there. What they are talking about, the last point is accelerating machine learning and conversational artificial intelligence. So voice technology is not going to do anything unless we have advanced machine learning, we have advanced natural language processing, we have advanced artificial intelligence, information retrieval, and all that process. Once you have all these technologies advanced, that's when the voice technology is going to show its miracles. Because what the user, whether it is staff or what the patient is going to see is the voice technology. They are not going to see what's happening in the background, what artificial intelligence and how much work goes on in the background. These are some of the other pilot projects that are being worked on right now. If you look at it, Cedar Sinai is working with Amazon Echo Divider in the patient room, and they are working on, they can select their own entertainment, they can request a staff assistant and that kind of stuff. Boston Children's Hospital is working on something called Kids MD, can be just like an app. So what it offers is common ailments and the medication dosing for that, over-the-counter medication. Like it's a children's hospital. My kid fell on, there's some bleeding. Question answer could be, when was the last time we had the tetanus injection and that kind of stuff. That's the Boston Children's Hospital. So basic information, education purpose. Purpose is only education as of now. Mayo Clinic launched for non-emergency situation care tips. This is the last one is about Atlanta-based senior living centers. They are leveraging both Google and Amazon smart speakers. And according to them, it has enhanced patient satisfaction and employee satisfaction. And you can Google this. I didn't have supposed to put all 4 active links, so that's why I didn't put it. Again, going back to the key takeaways, the goal of this presentation was to give a high-level view of voice technology, what is coming down the pipeline, along with some active links, so it's not like you don't have to go through, reinvent the wheel. It's all there. Just click on the link, and you'll have all the detailed information. And if in your hospital any conversation is going on around these topics, you can mention, well, listen, this is the best practice, or this is a pilot program being run somewhere. So it will help. So as a healthcare technology professionals, we should always be trying to do our best to be visible in the technology, in the healthcare technology at our institutions. That's the overall goal of this presentation. That's all I have.